Most of us look at a patch of bare, brown dirt and see an ending. We see something empty, lifeless, maybe even a little boring. But if you look closely, that soil is quietly resting. It is waiting. Think about a painter standing in front of a perfectly blank white canvas. Both this empty fabric and this patch of dry earth share the same purpose. They are open spaces waiting to be filled with color. The poet Maya Angelie explored this connection in her poem, Canvas of Soil. Her words offer a different way to look at the ground beneath our feet. Her premise is that the work of the garden, the digging, the tilling, and the planting, is the physical act of painting a picture using nature's materials. This shift in perspective turns ordinary ground into a site for creative expression. Every artist needs a workspace. Out here, the garden plot is the studio, and the dark, crumbly soil is the foundation where everything begins. Angelie writes about a palette of earth, rich and deep. Before flowers grow, the gardener uses the ground like a mixing board, preparing the earth and setting up the exact conditions their ideas need to take shape. Once the palette is ready, the artist steps in. Instead of dipping a brush into wet oil colors, the gardener takes tiny, delicate seeds and places them into the ground with exact precision. This animated layout shows how those seed placements work. The poem calls these brush strokes of seeds. Placing them into carefully measured rows mirrors the way a painter swipes a loaded brush across a canvas to create a specific line or border. The gardener is drafting a blueprint. They can see how high those stalks will grow and what colors will fill these spaces, mapping out solid shapes and patterns long before anything is visible above the surface. We call this phase germination. In this context, it acts as a hidden drafting period. Beneath the surface, the living paint is gathering energy, preparing to reveal its color. The physical labor of tilling and planting is the design phase of a living masterpiece. Unlike traditional art, this medium asks you to wait. It requires a long, quiet pause, waiting through the freezing winter and into the early days of spring. The ingredients that finally activate the artwork are elemental. The combination of warm sunshine and soaking rain acts as a trigger, pushing tiny green sprouts through the surface. Slowly, those simple green stems mature, buds form, and then break open, splashing the garden with saturated color. Anthony describes these blossoms as dancing in the morning light. A painting hanging on a wall stays still, but this art is dynamic. It sways in the breeze and physically moves throughout the day. Nature provides a massive spectrum of hues. As the poem points out, the shades of green, red, and blue arrive right on schedule, completing the palette the gardener imagined months ago. A traditional framed painting is fixed in the moment the artist finished. A garden is, as the poem says, ever new. It changes its shape, its lighting, and its texture every single day. The careful seed placement from the beginning has fulfilled its purpose. The hidden blueprint has turned into a colorful reality. In this medium, the art builds itself over time. The gardener acts as a partner with nature, guiding the process as the masterpiece grows. When we step back to look at the fully bloomed plot, the complete vision becomes clear. Placing a framed floral painting next to a garden box with those same colors shows the similarity between the two. Both require planning, patience, and an understanding of how colors work together. This is what Anthony meant when she wrote that each plot is a wide canvas where art and life coincide. The two worlds blend inside the borders of a garden bed. The person who tills is a creator. They might use soil instead of brushes, but they are producing something intentional and beautiful. The next time you see an empty patch of soil in a backyard or a window box, consider its potential. It is a blank canvas waiting to be used. Gardening is an accessible form of art. With a little patience, some potting soil, and a handful of seeds, anyone can grow a living masterpiece.